When we start talking about shooting, we want to start by reverse engineering your shot. So I'm a left-handed player, so everything's going to be from a left-hand shooter's perspective here, but it can apply to a right-handed player too. And we start by your hand placement on the basketball. So I like to find the air hole right here, the middle of the basketball. And if a player has smaller hands, then we're going to use their pointer and middle finger to split the air hole. If they have bigger hands, then you want your middle finger on the air hole right here. Now you do this so the ball can go straight every time. You want the ball coming off your middle and pointer finger when you shoot. So for me, you can see my hand placement there. I go up, my wrist flicks down every time, and these two fingers go down straight because the ball is going to go opposite of where these two fingers snap to. So you want them to snap straight every time, and that's how you get the tight backspin on the ball. Now next, when we talk about our hand placement, one of the things I'll do a lot in our warm-ups is 3-finger shooting. So you can see my pointer and middle finger split in the air hole, my thumb's on the basketball. So I'll do 3-finger shooting right here, and you want to snap your wrist down, and you can find the rotation every time, and you can feel the ball coming off these 2 fingers straight and get that tight backspin every single rep. That's why I love that warm-up drill right there. Next, when we reverse engineer our shot, we have our hand placement. Now let's talk about our wrist. So you'll hear a lot of people talking about your wrist being loaded. So that's your wrist slightly back right here. One of the ways I test wrist flexibility is to have a player stand with their arm straight out, their shooting arm, and then move their wrist back. And my elbow moves slightly right there. So that means my elbow is going to be slightly out when I shoot to make sure my hand and wrist can get under the basketball. Now you want your wrist slightly back at this 45-degree angle, or even further back right here, so you have that solid platform every time you shoot. So when I go up to shoot, I can snap down and create that backspin and for the ball to go straight every single time. We talked about hand placement on the ball, our wrist right here being loaded. Now let's talk about our shot pocket. So ideally you want your shot pocket right above that left eyebrow, okay? What you don't want is your shooting pocket to be across your face over here. You can have a shot pocket in the middle, slightly above your left eye to the eyebrow, or even more out right here, but you want it on the side of the body you're shooting. So for a right-hand player, you want it right above that right eyebrow. Ideally, not everybody's shot pocket is going to be the same. Steph shoots it differently than Clay, who shoots it differently than Brad Beal. They all have different shot pockets. But what you can find consistently is they're in front of their face, which means they're in front of the power line. The power line is in front of your nose right here, which means when you go up to shoot, the ball doesn't come back behind your power line because that creates negative energy when you shoot. You want all positive energy, so when you go up to shoot, the ball goes up straight. You can see it goes in front right here, and then you can shoot with that great drop angle with your elbow going through and the snap down. So that's what I mean by power line. So you want the ball in front of your power line, and you want the ball not on the other side of your face right there. So we can get a consistent shot pocket every time. And one of the keys here is you want it to be consistent and repeatable. So if this is my shot pocket right here, or this, you want it to be the same every time you shoot. You don't want to change your shot pocket, so one time it's here, the next time it's here, then we're not going to get consistent results every time. So your shooting arm, if your elbow is slightly out, that's a lot of the time because of your wrist flexibility like I've talked about. But if you have good wrist flexibility and your elbow's out, then we have to correct that and get your elbow under the ball. But you want your elbow to give you the power when you shoot. So you want your shooting arm to go straight every time. You don't want your elbow to move on the way up. So you'll see players move their elbow this way when they go up to shoot, or when they go up, they'll move this way with your arm going out here or out here, and that's going to create misses going left and right. We want your shooting arm to go straight every time with that elbow getting above your eyebrow. So when you go up to shoot right here, my elbow is going to go all the way through my eyebrow, and that creates the arc and the drop angle every time you shoot the ball. Now let's talk about when the ball's lifting through our shot pocket. So we want to catch the ball tight to our body and keep it tight to our body, because otherwise you're going to have negative energy when you come up. So the ball comes up and then it comes back. So you can see it from this angle too. The ball goes here, it goes up, it goes back here, and then you shoot it. So it creates that two motion shot right there. Where I want to keep the ball tight to my body, it goes all the way up right here, so you can see all my energy is positive every single time I shoot the ball. So you want to catch it tight, keep it tight, and then when you go up through your shot pocket, you release it at the top right here on the way up. Now let's talk about our balance hand. So it's my right hand right here. I want my hand on the side of the basketball when I shoot right here, my 4 fingers pointing straight up, and then my thumb aligned right here with my pointer finger. So when I go up to shoot, it's aligned right there. So my fingers are going up, my thumb is placed here, and then I can shoot the ball like this with this hand staying straight. Now you will see shooters right here use a thumb flick to shoot the ball. I will take that out of a player's shot if it's affecting the spin. So if we don't get tight backspin every time they shoot and it's going a little bit sideways, then we have to remove that thumb flick. Or if when you go up to shoot, the ball moves because of your thumb right there pushing the ball this way. Now, balance arm coming down, you want it to stay aligned here, so you don't want to be pushing across too much here and pushing the pressure this way when you shoot. You want it to go straight up and straight down every time you shoot. And you want to release that balance hand once you're going up before the peak of your jump shot. You release that hand, and then your left wrist and those fingers right there can snap down on the ball. Let's talk about when you release the ball shooting wise. So you want to release the ball on the way up when you shoot. So you release it before the peak of your jump. So you don't want to release it at the peak right here, because then you'll shoot it flat a lot of the time and you don't get a good drop angle and you don't lift it through your shooting pocket. So you want to release it on the way up so the ball can get through your shot pocket with power from your elbow. You'll see a lot of players go up to shoot the ball right here. The ball comes back, they release it at the peak or on the way down when they shoot, and that creates a pause in their jump shot. Talk about your balance when you shoot the ball. So your hips and down right here. So you want your hips square at the rim, and then you want your feet parallel, feet under your shoulders right here, so you can get power evenly from your base. Now, some players will shoot with their left foot slightly forward or their right foot slightly forward. Now, when you shoot like that, you just have to land like that. So you don't want to shoot with your left foot slightly forward and then sway your hips like this when you shoot. So you go up here, because then you're going to move your shot pocket this way. The ball is going to go right. And then you'll overcompensate right here, and then the ball can go left. So it's very tough to get the ball to go straight if you sway your hips. And then you can see it in my feet and my toes. So my toes go from 12 o'clock, or even if I shoot slightly at 1 o'clock like this, because I'm left-handed, you just don't want to end up here, because then that creates that hip sway. Also, you don't want your feet to come together when you shoot. So you can see my feet are under my shoulders right here when I go up to shoot. You don't want to land like this, because that's going to create poor balance when you shoot, and a lot of the time that will lead to short misses. All the studies I've done on balance for your footwork, especially with your feet coming together when you shoot, is percentages go way down. And then percentages also go way down when you sway your hips in the air, because that creates misses left and right, and the ball doesn't always go straight. So you want a tight core when you shoot. You want your hips to start here and then land there. You want them to start and land in the same spot so your hips don't sway. You want your toes to land slightly forward on the balls of your feet. I will see some shooters like Brad Beal does this, Klay Thompson do it. When they go up and shoot, you can see them bounce on their feet.